They said Millfield was a peaceful town, and maybe it was, if you looked fast and didn't stay long. Quiet streets, white picket fences, lawns trimmed with military precision. But for people like Gloria Matthews, peace had always come with conditions. She was 34 when she applied to buy the house on Brookline Avenue. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, yellow siding, oak tree in the front yard. It wasn't big, it wasn't fancy, but it had light and space, and it was hers, or should have been. Gloria had been a nurse for 11 years, worked double shifts at Millfield General, saved lives, sat with patients who had no families, delivered babies, cleaned bodies, sewed wounds. She'd seen the best and worst of people. But nothing prepared her for what a for sale sign in a white neighborhood could do to a town like Millfield in 1976. She submitted her offer with full financing, clean credit, stable income, even a letter of character reference from the hospital director, a white man. The realtor smiled, said she'd be in touch. And she was, 3 days later. The sellers decided to go with a different buyer. Gloria drove by the house the next morning. The sign was still up. New offer price? A few hundred less than hers. New buyer? A young couple. White. She called the agent. No answer. Left a message. No return. At first she thought it was a fluke. Then she tried a second house. Then a third. Then 5 more. Each time the same pattern. Smiles. Silence. Sold. To someone else. She walked into First National Bank to ask about a mortgage review. The teller looked at her ID, then said, "There must be a mistake. You don't qualify." Gloria stared at her. "Based on what?" The woman adjusted her blouse. "I'm just following the policy." Policy, she was getting used to that word. It had become the wall between her and the life she wanted. It wasn't burning crosses or slurs in spray paint. It was something colder, quieter, harder to name. One afternoon, she overheard 2 nurses whispering in the break room. "You hear about Gloria trying to buy over on Brookline? They'll never let her. She's got nerve, though, I'll give her that." She said nothing, just kept sipping her coffee. Same way she always had, with silence and straight posture. The hospital director, Mr. Finley, pulled her aside a week later. "You're drawing attention to yourself," he said. She blinked. "By trying to buy a home?" He rubbed his temples. "This town's not ready for change that fast." She smiled, lips tight. "Then maybe it's time to stop asking for permission." Her brother Darnell called from Detroit, told her to come stay with him. "You're wasting your time in that place, Glo. They don't want you there." She sighed. "I know, but someone's gotta want better." Sunday came. She walked to the market like always, head high, gloves on, purse tight to her side. Kids stared, mothers whispered, men looked through her like she wasn't there. And then it happened. Right on Maple and Second, near the post office. A man stumbled, clutched his chest, collapsed onto the pavement. People screamed, a crowd gathered. No one moved. Gloria rushed forward, dropped her bag, kneeled beside him, checked pulse. Weak, erratic. His lips were turning blue. She looked up. "Someone call an ambulance." No one moved, just stared. Then someone muttered, "Is that the mayor?" It was Mayor Benjamin Lowell, 6th-term incumbent, head of the Housing Committee, the same man whose signature had blocked 3 of her applications. But none of that mattered in that moment. She rolled him on his side, opened his collar, started compressions, counted under her breath. 1, 2, 3. A woman gasped. A child cried. A man finally pulled out a phone. By the time the ambulance came, Gloria had kept his heart going another 3 minutes. She rode in the back with him, gave vitals to the EMT, held the oxygen mask in place when his hands twitched. The paramedic looked at her. "You a nurse?" She nodded. "Then you just saved the mayor's life." When they reached the hospital, the staff took over. Gloria stepped back, hands shaking, blood on her coat, sweat on her forehead. She turned to leave, but someone grabbed her arm. "Ms. Matthews?" It was Councilwoman Helen Reed, face pale, voice shaking. "You're the one who helped him?" Gloria nodded. Helen looked down, swallowed, then said, "We owe you, truly." Gloria raised an eyebrow. You don't owe me anything. Just don't pretend not to see me tomorrow. And she walked out. That night, she didn't sleep, not because of the drama, but because for the first time, the town had seen her for who she was, not what she looked like. And something told her they wouldn't be able to forget it. Mayor Benjamin Lowell spent 4 days in the ICU. When he finally woke, the first thing he asked was, "Did she save me?" They told him yes, that it was Gloria Matthews, the nurse from Millfield General, the woman whose name had come across his desk a half dozen times, each time attached to a housing application. Each time rejected because of zoning restrictions, because of historic preservation, because of neighborhood integrity. He closed his eyes and said, "God damn." By Friday, the town knew. It was in the paper, front page. Black nurse saves mayor's life. And beneath it, city council faces scrutiny for discriminatory housing patterns. People talked. At the grocery store, at church, in whispers at first. But they talked. Councilwoman Helen Reed scheduled an emergency meeting. It was closed door. But leaks happen, especially when something righteous is rising. Turns out, Gloria's story wasn't unique. 3 other families of color had tried to buy in the same district over the past 5 years. All denied. No explanations, no paper trail, just silent no's. But now there was no more silence. The hospital staff sent Gloria flowers. The church sent a letter. The nurses, white, black, young, old, signed a petition. It read, "Housing is a right, not a reward." When Gloria walked through town, people made room. They said hello. They didn't always smile, but they saw her now. The mayor recovered enough to attend the next city council meeting. He arrived in a wheelchair, thin and pale, but his voice, steady. He looked out at the packed chamber, cameras, reporters, protest signs in the hallway, and he said, "I was dead, and she brought me back." She didn't ask if I was worthy. She just acted, because that's what good people do. And yet, when she asked for a house, we acted like she didn't exist. He paused, looked at Helen, then the rest of the council. We can't undo what we did, but we can stop pretending it wasn't real. They voted that night, unanimously, to revise the housing board, to open an investigation into discriminatory practices, and to approve Gloria Matthews' purchase of the home on Brookline Avenue. The next morning, a courier showed up at the hospital. Small envelope. Inside, a set of keys and a handwritten note. "It's yours. It always should have been." Helen Reed. Gloria drove to the house after her shift. No press, no crowd, just her and the keys. She stood on the porch for a long time, then opened the door. The air inside was still, quiet, new. She walked through each room, touched the walls, ran her fingers along the window ledges. And for the first time in years, she let herself imagine. A couch by the window, books on the shelf, dinner on the stove. Not a house, a home. That Sunday, she moved in, and something unexpected happened. The neighbors came out, one by one, with food, with flowers, with awkward apologies. "We were wrong. We judged. We're sorry. She didn't need it, but she accepted it because grace is strongest when it's hardest to give." Kids started waving at her from their bikes. Old men tipped their hats, and someone even left a note on her door, "Welcome home, Nurse Matthews." A year later, she planted a garden. Tomatoes, peppers, sweet basil. She painted the fence, hung wind chimes, adopted a dun. The mayor came by once after his full recovery. No entourage, just him. He brought a pie. She offered tea. They sat on the porch and didn't talk about the past, just the light and the quiet and the way things can change if someone dares to move first. Gloria never asked for recognition, but the town gave it anyway. They renamed the nursing scholarship at Millfield High, the Gloria Matthews Award, for strength, service, and integrity. And every time she walks down Brookline Avenue now, she walks with ease. Not because the world changed overnight, but because she changed it enough to matter. Not with shouting, not with force, but with presence, with truth, and with hands strong enough to bring a man back from the edge, even when he once tried to push her out. Thank you for watching. If you want to get more of that kind of stories, press like and check out our channel.